most of our time trying to deconflict and put together the results of the 5 work groups that you all sat on. So what we're putting forth to you is, after we've deconflicted the various places, is what we think we heard amongst everyone on the committee. And the intent tonight is basically to outline you what that is and what it looks like when you put it all together in one series, and then have you think about it, ask some questions, and then on Wednesday come back and start deciding and discussing which portions we all agree we want to do in the plan, so that LC can go forth and start drafting after that. Again, this is what we think we heard, and we're looking forward to all of your input, and on Wednesday night, your red X's, your adding, and everything else. And we'll talk about that briefly at the end. The very first group that we talked about when we had the presentation, of course, you remember this, was the maintenance and seismic and preservation group that was forward. I don't think there's any news here. You all recall the bridges are broke. You'll see half of them are in red that are here, in which that they need repairs, and were built before 1974, and that pretty much spans the entire state. That's not just cities and counties, but across the statewide. I think everybody heard loud and clear from Representative Benson that groups, about the pavement commissions in the state. We also heard that we really don't have a statewide standardization. This is something we need to address in the bill going forward. So we set one standard so everybody is using the same very good, poor, so on and so forth to do this. The large question we all have asked that came out of the preservation and seismic group is we're spending 30 cents now, and we have about 14.6 in equivalent. That's title and registration fees and other fees that are out there. And why isn't it enough? We think we heard very clearly that we've underfunded transportation for decades. We know the cost of replacing the bridges are billions. We know that traffic congestion is turning into gridlock, and that's not just gridlock in Portland metro area. We know that we have the same problems in funnels and choke points along the Interstate 5 corridor all the way to Medford in places, and ironically enough, some in the areas out in eastern Oregon too. We know that a growing population creates more traffic. We know about the seismic threat. We certainly saw on the eastern side some pretty extreme weather this year, almost like looking at Alaska, where you have hard freezes and thaws, and the impact of that. We also know that labor is increasing as materials, and the other issue that we face, unfortunately, with a 30-cent or with even a penny gas tax is a simple fact that higher fuel economy means we get less gas tax revenue back. And the bottom line is we need to move towards a user-to-cost ratio into the 21st century.